So about a week ago, I released a video discussing yet another embarrassing blunder on Bethesda's part, which came in light of numerous ongoing Fallout 76 controversies. What basically happened was that Bethesda had partnered up with a company called Silverscreens Bottling Company to produce a Fallout-themed bottle of rum called Nuka Dark Rum. The appeal of this product was clear. Most people would purchase it for the uniquely shaped bottle. After all, people who just want rum can go to their local liquor store and spend far less for brands that are far more familiar and more reliable. With an $80 price tag, which is certainly no pittance given even relatively high-quality rums are sold for significantly less, what most customers anticipated was that they were paying for the production of high-quality glass bottles resembling those found in the Fallout universe that they could add to their collection. But what customers were dismayed to discover after Silverscreen had sent out a behind-the-scenes production video of this product shortly before shipping was that it wasn't for a glass bottle as most people were led to believe, but rather for a regular bottle of rum encased in a giant plastic shell. Nowhere on Nuka Dark Rum's official website is there so much as a hint of this being the true nature of the product. I've seen a few argue that it's obvious from the image that it's a plastic bottle because the exterior is opaque rather than transparent, but I would have to completely disagree there. There are plenty of alcoholic beverages out there whose bottles have an opaque, smooth, matte finish that's very reminiscent to Nuka Dark Rum's promotional images. And with this being an $80 product, the natural assumption was that this would be a similar type of bottle. Sure, the product description doesn't outright say that it would be made of glass, simply stating it shares the same look as Nuka-Cola bottles from the Fallout series, but it sure as hell doesn't say anything about a standard bottle in a cheap plastic shell either. Not to mention that it's not up to the customer to have to assume unusual things about a product that underhandedly omits key information. It is up to the product seller to describe in as much detail as possible what it is they're selling. It is a company's responsibility to market their products adequately and ensure customers will have a very clear idea about what it is they're purchasing. And in the case of Nuka Dark Rum, there wasn't a single product listing that achieved that. What we're looking at here is a case of negligent marketing. They knew it wouldn't sell as well if people found out what the final product would actually be like, and naturally customers who bought Nuka Dark Rum weren't happy to learn that they had been misled into purchasing a woefully underwhelming version of the product they thought they were going to get. Since then, Silverscreen has updated their official website with a response to the ensuing backlash. It's less of an apology for their negligent marketing and more of a piss-poor attempt to prop the lackluster product they ended up launching on a pedestal by hyperbolically glorifying its features. The statement reads as follows: regarding our product, the COO, sommelier, and product specialist of Silverscreen Bottling Company, Ryan McElveen, has written a note to our customers about the story of the intentional and complex design of the Nuka Dark Rum product. The packaging of Nuka Dark Rum was a design that was months in the making, and we went to great lengths to ensure that no corners were cut. It cost over 2 times what it would have if we would have simply cast a glass mold. Now, see, this bit tells me one of two things. Either Silverscreen is full of shit and are lying through their teeth about how making the uniquely shaped bottle glass would have been twice as cheap as putting a plastic shell over a standard bottle, or they are so utterly clueless that they ended up spending twice as much money on production under the assumption that customers would actually prefer a crappy plastic shell over a proper uniquely shaped glass bottle. Regardless of which it is, Silverscreen royally screwed up, and Bethesda Softworks, the publisher, has blame to share as well, as the company signed off on the bottling company's final design of this product. The statement continued, "We went through many prototypes. In fact, in all, we had 4 different iterations of the design, 2 of which were glass exteriors. We determined that a glass bottle alone would not have been dramatic enough for the look we wanted. We wanted something big and bold for the loyal Fallout fanbase, something that honored the game. Over 100 hours were spent just writing the code to create the 3D printed prototype of the shells. The bottle cap, which is actually an integrated cork/cap, was engineered and re-engineered several times to ensure it fit on the bottle in a manner that looked exactly the way it is supposed to inside of a cork-finished bottle, not a screw cap. A design created specifically for rum. The idea was that the bottle was housed in a vault of its own." Wow, talk about pretentious and overly dramatic. Not to mention, this statement reeks of bullshit. You have to scoff at how they try to write off the idea of putting a regular bottle inside a plastic shell as if it were an artistic decision, as if this were meant to be a symbolism for the vaults in the Fallout universe. I straight up don't believe for a second that this was actually the thought process behind the plastic shell. And even if it somehow turns out it was, then all that shows is that they'd rather stroke their own ego with dumb, artsy metaphors that will go right over customers' heads than deliver a desirable, high-quality product. Also, really, you went with a hollow hunk of plastic because you determined a glass bottle alone would not have been dramatic enough for the look you wanted? Forgoing glass, which is what the Nuka bottles are made of in the Fallout games, was your way of honoring Fallout and its fanbase? Again, either they're lying through their teeth or they're just hopelessly tone-deaf and clueless about the appeal of a product like this. Furthermore, I cannot help but laugh at the notion that over 100 hours were spent writing code to create the 3D printed prototype of the shells, or at the way the bottle cap integrated with a cork is being touted as some engineering marvel. Anyway, last but not least, the statement concluded with this. The dimensions of the entire package are 13 by 6. It is roughly 60% larger than a standard 750mm bottle, and it will stand out on any bar. Why on God's green earth should customers care about whether this stands out in a bar? People are purchasing this online to have it shipped into their homes so that they can add a cool-looking bottle to their collection, not to present it or sell it at a bar. Even if the goal was to mass-produce Nuka Dark Rum for bars to serve, I guarantee you that a smaller glass bottle with a matte surface will stand out far more than a goofy-looking, large hunk of cheap plastic whose poor design gets in the way of pouring its contents comfortably. I suppose one could argue that seeing bartenders tearing the bottle out of its plastic shell will turn some heads, but for all the wrong reasons. Anyway, the statement continued. This is a project we are extremely proud of, and we are sorry that you feel that you were in any way deceived. We were very deliberate in the creation of this product and paid great attention to the brand and the quality. Not just the presentation, but the rum inside the bottle as well. We can't wait for you to see it in person and taste it for yourself. We're not sure that the images or videos do it justice. Now, if you don't agree when you receive yours, please let our team know by submitting a form in the questions about my order section below, and we will work to make it right. From reports that I'm hearing, the rum itself doesn't even taste that good, with this video by YouTube channel Nick Drinks in particular expressing unmitigated revulsion.
I thought the shape was cool, I thought the concept was cool. What I didn't think was cool was the $80 that they charged for this bottle. For that, I was expecting a glass bottle, if you will. I was not expecting 35% product, so we're already cheapening out right there. And on top of that, it also says that it is natural flavorings and caramel color, so which is legal in rum, but it just kind of shows that it's kind of a shabby product.
Sure. Oh my.
Wow, is that aggressive?
That's a lot of coconut.
Oh, God, can I swear on this? It's my own show. That's terrible.
Oh my.
This is worse than I thought it was going to be. It's not quite medicinal, but it's almost kind of like a cardboardy type fake flavoring profile in there. The worst offender is the coconut.
Yeah.
You know what? It feels like a money grab.
For sure. For sure. You're paying for the name and the gimmick and not the alcohol.
To be fair, taste is highly subjective, so I cannot say that there aren't people out there who might like the taste of Nuka Dark Rum, but just about everyone seems to be unanimous on the assumption that the rum is most certainly not worth $80, and the plastic shell certainly isn't worth $80 either. So it would seem as though what you're really paying for here is the gimmick of this product and for the Bethesda and Fallout brand. This whole situation was pretty sad and pathetic on its own, but the response Silverscreen gave is like adding coconut-flavored rum to injury. At the very least, it does seem as though they're willing to let people contact them and maybe even get a refund, judging by the final sentence here. It is probably safe to assume that if you've already opened the bottle, you won't be able to return it and get a refund. But if you found out about this scam in the middle of shipping or before you open the bottle, you might be able to contact them and get your money back. They never specifically use the word refund though, and given Silverscreen's proven history of being underhandedly vague about their products, I'll believe it when I see it. Either way, this continues to be yet another humiliating chapter for Bethesda, who may not have directly assembled and shipped the Nuka Dark Rum bottles, but they certainly knew about and signed off on all of this, and none of this bodes well after all the other embarrassing blunders. The worst part of it is that Bethesda is staying completely quiet amidst all this. Despite how widespread the story has become, magnified by the other mishaps, the folks over at Bethesda have yet to issue a single word of apology or reassurance, essentially letting Silver Screen take the hit. That's sort of been a recurring theme for the now disgraced Bethesda. The normally talkative Pete Hines has practically gone incognito after backlash against Fallout 76 escalated, with his last proper tweet having been posted weeks ago. None of which bodes well for a man whose position is Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications. It's not just Pete, all key figures at Bethesda have basically gone into hiding until the storm blows over, and the few times Bethesda addressed feedback and criticism, it was done through canned, empty, soulless PR statements, some of which were so insulting in their intent that it only served to add fuel to the fire. Cowardly is the word I'd use to describe the way Bethesda has been handling their current predicament. They're trying to pretend like everything's fine, believing people will soon forgive and forget, but I am telling you, Bethesda, this is one shitstorm you cannot hide or cower away from. People will remember this for years to come, and all your cowardice is doing is losing further confidence and goodwill. You owe your fans an explanation on what the hell happened with Fallout 76, with the falsely advertised canvas bags, and now with the negligently marketed Nuka Dark Rum, among many other things I've discussed in previous videos. Otherwise, all we can do is surmise that you knew exactly what you were doing when you launched Fallout 76 half-baked and broken, when you falsely marketed the canvas bags, when you signed off on the shitty Nuka Dark Rum, and more. Until you talk to us, we can only assume the worst and continue losing faith in a company that seemingly lost all passion, care, and pride for their own work and for the products that represent them. These are one man's opinion anyway. I'd love to hear what your take is on all of this in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update. Thank you for tuning in. To be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Yong Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Yong out.